Ryan Brown.
Tansley Stearns,
What's happening, friend?
all the good things.
That's good news. Okay, so I'm reading that this side hustle thing has become a defining moment of a generation. What in the world do you think about that?
Well, I think it's really cool and interesting to talk about because I think either out of necessity, curiosity, or perhaps an increase in, I don't know, generational ADD diagnosis or something, people, it's probably myself, I fall in that category, so I'm really not disparaging. But I think it's good that people are keeping their minds busy as long as, well, there's certainly some conditions that we can talk about, but the availability, whether it's an Uber or Upwork or something that's even a little more committed, the availability of those types of opportunities seem to grow as um, you know I think the barrier to entry is fairly low for some of those roles, and I think it can be a beautiful thing.
So how do you think about doing that and your day job? How do you balance the two?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I would really struggle with my job doing that just because I have a lot going on. Although I should say, I say that, but then I know for a fact you have side hustles. You
Yeah.
have a lot of things that you're able to do, and so I've always been really interested and curious about that. So really, you're the expert on side hustles here. So I think our listeners are in for a treat. We should hear from you. But me personally, like my kids are kind of my side hustle right now. But I absolutely see a place in the future where they're kind of more independent, and I am taking on more and more additional things, whether it's entrepreneurialism, volunteer work, serving the community in whatever way. I think I'm expanding the definition of side hustle to those things, by the way, just for the sake of this conversation, because there are so many benefits from those. We pay our employees here, 12 hours to go volunteer, and I think we can very much look at that. I coach, as I've talked about before, and I think between coaching and scouts and the kids, like I got some side hustles too, so maybe I should think about that a little differently. So they're just not paying me anything. So does the side hustle have to be like of monetary value? I
It's a good question.
don't think so.
Probably depends on who you ask.
I think that people make smart investments in where they volunteer that can sometimes turn into that can turn into new business, that can turn into relationships
Mhm.
that might lead to a different job or a different career. I've heard many a story where it's like started volunteering or started getting into this, and all of a sudden it's like they're working at the company or they're in that line of work, which is really cool.
Yeah. Well, and I do think for some budding entrepreneurs, I realize some people are going to disagree with what I'm about to say vehemently, and I've heard the other side. And I think for a lot of people, becoming an entrepreneur, depending on your financial situation, requires a side hustle start
Yep,
often.
you hear it all the time.
Hmm.
They were working at this company and then started this thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
As long as it doesn't like compete or conflict. So everybody who's listening, make sure you read your handbook or your conflict of interest policy really carefully.
Yes, yes. Follow the rules.
Follow the rules. Yeah, we actually had somebody recently who was pursuing a like career in real estate. And being a credit union, like that it's a little dicey to manage through that. And I don't, there's not necessarily a clear answer, but that would be a time where it's like, okay, well, you definitely want to talk to your employer about that and make sure that, we're managing kind of what those boundaries look like.
Yeah.
But I think if it's outside of that, like if it's not total other industry necessarily, but it has to be, I think you have to be kind of careful. But more often than not, I hear it's just like, it's people are able, well, it's the giving back and the volunteering or maybe parenting, but then for where that doesn't apply, I'm often hearing it's like a way for people to fulfill a passion because maybe their work, like, okay, it's a job, but like they're really filling their cup with this other thing that's giving them lots of energy. And I think that's awesome. That's why I'm like a big fan of it. Or maybe the side hustle is really just to pay the bills, pay
Mhm.
off debt, whatever. And that's super commendable too. And you hear about that a lot. So
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons to do said side hustles that are very distinct,
yeah, absolutely.
very distinct. So we do side hustles inside the credit union.
Tell me all about it.
Yeah.
It surprised
This was really a great idea. This came from our team, and it was both about the team member potentially wanting to earn more income, depending on how that works for both the person and the individual, the person and the credit union, and also about the stretch for people that are thinking about their career and how they grow in their career. And so leaders can say, gosh, I have this need that extends beyond what I have capacity for within my team today. This is what I'm looking for in terms of competency. This is how much time it might be. And especially if we have team members that are interested in that, we would certainly choose to invest in them
me. Sure.
first, which is
Yeah. So do you manage that through like a portal or like how is it that people would learn about that?
yeah, they can find it on our info link, which is our intranet.
Nice.
All good things reside on info link. And I think it's really a great way for people to explore beyond the bounds of their current role and see if something might be interesting. I also often think that in these opportunities to take something else on, you sometimes learn things that apply to your role or make you see the organization differently or just see the world a little more broadly. I love that it came as an idea, and I'm especially proud that it came from a team member.
Okay. How long have you been doing that?
Oh boy, a while. I think I'm about to celebrate my fourth anniversary in June. And so I'd bet 3 years,
Hey,
maybe yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
that's amazing.
Yeah, really
So
great.
is it any like is there like a minimum tenure requirement or is anybody can apply?
Anybody can apply, as we would say with any role. And I think certain side hustles probably get more interest than
Yeah.
others.
Really cool.
Depending on what it is. And I just love the idea. I think it's a really sound one for the organization and for our team.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna like talk to you in 6 months and we'll have it stood up our own program because I that's a great idea to
Yeah,
explore and steal.
for sure.
Oh, that's
Okay, so
cool.
what advice would you leave listeners with about the side hustle?
I think do it. I think it's great to have something else going on for a variety of reasons, like, keeping your passions and interests going, building networks, giving back, resume building.
Mhm.
I would say go for it.
Yeah,
And very, 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 very tiny HR guy caveat, just making sure that it's not in conflict with your current work, that it doesn't cost you hours or it's something where you're not working two jobs at the same time at the expense of your full-time gig because that has happened. I've seen that before. And so just being mindful, but that's the negative stuff. That doesn't happen often, but I think go for it.
yeah, sweet. All right, side hustle away, friends.
That's right.
Okay, huzzah.